souls on board, total engine failure.
Juliet Tango Zulu, Red Deer Tower. What's your altitude?
7,000 feet, descending fast. Damn it, I just lost radio signal.
The forest is silent, except for the faint hum of a broken engine fading into the wind. A single wing lies crushed beneath the pines. Somewhere beyond the smoke and the shadows, two lives hang by a thread. Back at Heartland, no one knows who's alive or who's lost forever. The morning light breaks softly over Heartland, painting the valley in gold. Horses graze quietly in the pastures, unaware that far beyond the hills, danger has already struck. Inside the barn, Amy wipes the sweat from her brow, her hands trembling as she tightens the saddle on Spartan. She's been up all night, listening to the radio chatter, search teams, rescue updates, silence between every call. No one has heard from Caleb or Nathan since the plane vanished over the foothills. Jack walks in, his face lined with worry. He doesn't say much, just gives Amy a nod that says everything words can't. Beside him, Ashley's pacing, her boots kicking up dust. She's not waiting anymore. If they're out there, she says, her voice breaking, we'll find them. Amy looks at her, there's fear in her eyes, but also fire. Together, they ride out before dawn, heading straight into the wild unknown. The forest looms ahead like a wall of secrets. The path narrows, the light fades, and the sound of hooves becomes a heartbeat against the earth. Every rustle in the trees makes Amy's chest tighten. Was that movement? A shadow? Or just the wind? Her mind keeps replaying the last moment she saw Caleb, his grin, his promise that the flight would be a quick trip. Now, that promise echoes like a ghost. Back at the ranch, Jack watches them disappear into the mist. He turns to Lisa, who stands beside the hay bales, worry softening her usually calm eyes. We can't sit around waiting, Jack mutters, reaching for his old gloves. If the world's falling apart out there, the least we can do is keep this place standing. Lisa nods, her hand brushing his arm. There's love there, quiet and spoken, but steady as the land itself. As Amy and Ashley push deeper into the forest, the world around them begins to change. The air grows colder, thicker. Trees twist above them like arms reaching for the sky. Then Amy stops. Her eyes fall on something half buried in the mud. A piece of metal, bent and blackened. The smell of fuel still lingers. She crouches, brushing dirt away with her gloved hands. Ashley, this is it, she whispers. The camera pans close, just a fragment of a wing. The serial number faint but familiar. Their faces fill with both hope and dread. If the wreckage is here, then Caleb and Nathan can't be far. Amy stands, her heart pounding. The search has truly begun. A gust of wind moves through the forest, carrying the echo of a distant sound, something that could be a voice, or maybe just the forest calling back. The screen fades to black with a faint crackle of static. As a voiceover lingers, in the heart of every storm, there's a choice: run from fear, or ride through it. The music swells, low and haunting, as the title card fades in. Heartland Season 19, Episode 4. Lost in the wild. The forest isn't quiet anymore. It breathes. It listens. Every step Amy and Ashley take feels like walking into the lungs of something alive. The morning fog clings low to the ground, curling around their boots, swallowing the sound of their voices. The horses snort nervously, ears twitching at the faint crack of a branch somewhere unseen. Amy slows her pace. She's reading the land the way she reads horses, looking for signs, not words. A broken twig, a disturbed patch of dirt, the trail of something heavy dragged through the underbrush. Her heart beats harder with every clue. Ashley follows close behind, her flashlight beam trembling as it cuts through the mist. Amy, she whispers, what if we're too late? Amy doesn't answer. Her eyes are locked on the ground where boot prints overlap in the mud, two sets uneven, one deeper than the other. Someone was limping. Her breath catches. Caleb? Nathan? She kneels, brushing her fingers across the print. Still fresh, still warm. The forest shifts again, this time with sound, a low rumble in the distance. Thunder? Or something else? The trees creak, their branches groaning like tired bones. Ashley's horse pulls at the reins, restless. We shouldn't be here after dark, she murmurs, her voice trembling. Amy glances at her, calm but firm. We don't stop now. They press on deeper, where the light fades to green shadows. The smell of smoke grows stronger. Somewhere ahead, a flicker small, faint, like the heartbeat of a dying fire. Amy's pulse races. She moves faster, her breath sharp in the cold air. But as they reach the clearing, what they find isn't a campsite. It's wreckage. The plane lies split open between two fallen pines, one wing torn away, the metal scorched black. A trail of blood stains the leaves nearby. Ashley gasps, her hand flying to her mouth. "Oh my God," she whispers. Amy steps forward, her voice breaking. "Caleb?" she calls out, louder this time, desperate. "Nathan?" No answer, only the sound of the forest breathing again. Amy kneels beside the wreckage, touching the twisted frame like it's alive, like it might whisper back. She spots something, a torn piece of cloth, tangled in the brush. Caleb's jacket. She clutches it tight, her throat tight with emotion. "They made it out," she says, almost to herself. "They had to." Ashley stands beside her, eyes wet. "Then where are they?" A crow caws in the distance, startling both horses. Amy looks up, scanning the trees. Something moves, just a shadow, slipping between trunks. For a moment, she swears she sees someone watching. But when she blinks, the forest is still again. The camera pans to Amy's face, mud-streaked, determined, her eyes filled with both fear and hope. The music builds quietly beneath her breath as she whispers, "We're close. I can feel it." The screen cuts to black. A single heartbeat echoes. Then Caleb's voice, faint, distant, through static. "Amy, if you can hear me, don't stop." A fire crackles weakly beneath the shattered wing of the plane. The smoke rises in thin curls, swallowed by the heavy night sky. Caleb sits beside it, his jacket torn, his face streaked with mud and blood. His breath comes in sharp, uneven bursts. Across from him, Nathan lies against a tree, his arm wrapped in a strip of cloth, soaked through with dark red. Neither of them speaks. The silence between them is louder than the forest. Caleb stares at the flames, his eyes unfocused. "You said we could make it through the storm," he mutters. Nathan looks up, pain twisting across his face. "I said we could try." Caleb laughs low, bitter. "Well, that worked out great, didn't it?" The sarcasm cuts deep, but beneath it is something raw, fear. The forest answers with a distant howl. Both men freeze. Caleb reaches for the flare gun, empty. He curses under his breath. Nathan tries to push himself up, wincing. "We need to move," he says quietly. "If we stay here, we'll freeze before morning." Caleb looks at him, exhaustion clouding his face. "You can't even stand," Nathan glares. "Then help me." For a long moment, Caleb doesn't move. The camera lingers on his face, the conflict inside him burning brighter than the fire. Finally, he sighs, grabs Nathan by the arm, and hauls him up. They stumble forward, leaning on each other. Every step a battle. The wilderness doesn't forgive. Branches tear at their clothes, the cold bites at their skin, and the night presses close like a living thing. Nathan tries to guide them north, toward a faint river sound. Caleb keeps glancing over his shoulder, haunted by the wreckage behind them. "We should have stayed," he grumbles. Nathan shakes his head. "You stay. You die." Hours blur together. The sky turns gray with the first light of dawn. Caleb's legs shake under Nathan's weight. He finally collapses near a cluster of rocks. "That's it," he gasps. "I'm done." Nathan stares at him, his voice thin but sharp. "You think Amy's done looking for you?" That name hits harder than the cold. Caleb's jaw tightens. "She's not coming," he says quietly. "She doesn't even know where we are." Nathan leans closer, his breath ragged. "Then you fight. Because if you stop now, she's searching for a ghost." Caleb looks at him, anger flashing and then fading into guilt. He pushes himself up, one more time, his hands shaking. Together they build another fire, smaller, hidden beneath the rocks. Caleb wraps his jacket around Nathan, muttering something that almost sounds like an apology. The camera pans to their faces, flickering in the orange glow. The tension between them softens, not friendship yet, but survival. Two men bound by the same fear, the same hope. The forest hums around them again, low and endless. And then, faintly, so faintly it comes, A voice on the wind. Amy's voice. Calling their names. Caleb's eyes snap open. He stands, staring into the trees. Did you hear that? Nathan frowns, straining to listen. Probably the wind. But Caleb's already moving, ignoring the pain, driven by something stronger than reason. Hope.as he disappears into the trees. The camera lingers on Nathan, alone by the fire. His eyes close as he whispers, "Don't let her find your body, man. Find hers instead." The screen fades to black. The crackle of fire fades, replaced by the faint echo of a heartbeat, steady, alive, defiant. Sometimes survival isn't about strength. It's about who you refuse to lose. The morning sun spills over Heartland like honey, warm, golden, alive. Dew clings to every blade of grass, and for a brief moment, it feels like time has stopped. But under that calm, everyone knows something is missing. Two men lost in the wild, two women searching through the forest. The ranch keeps breathing, because it has to. Jack stands by the barn, hands on his hips, watching the horizon. His old hat shades eyes that have seen too many storms. Lisa joins him, carrying 2 mugs of coffee. "You should sit," she says softly. Jack shakes his head. "Can't. Too quiet when I do." The camera follows their slow walk toward the fields. The hay is ready, tall, golden, swaying with the morning breeze. "Used to do this by hand," Jack mutters, "before all those fancy balers came around." Lisa smiles, a hint of mischief in her eyes. "Then let's do it the old way. For one day." He chuckles, low and genuine. "You're serious?" She nods. "Maybe the land needs to hear us again. The rhythm, the work." And just like that, the quiet turns into something steady. The screen cuts between shots of old tools, weathered hands, and laughter echoing across the fields. The sound of scythes slicing through grass becomes a kind of music, slow, simple, timeless. Horses pull wagons stacked with hay, their shadows stretching long in the light. Kids from neighboring farms join in, laughter filling the air. Someone brings lemonade. Someone else plays a tune on a harmonica. The ranch hums again, alive, strong, and rooted in something older than loss. Lisa wipes her forehead, watching Jack tie the last bundle. "You know," she says, "it's strange. When you work like this, it's like you can feel them. Amy, Caleb, all of them. Like the land carries their heartbeat." Jack nods, tying the rope tight. "That's 'cause this place don't forget," he says. "You plant love here, it grows back, even after a storm." The wind picks up, brushing through the hay, carrying the sound of laughter into the open sky. For a heartbeat, it feels like the world is whole again. Then Lisa stops. She looks toward the ridge, shading her eyes. "Jack, do you see that?" Far in the distance, faint and flickering, a thin trail of smoke curls into the sky. Jack's smile fades. The color drains from his face. "That ain't a storm cloud," he murmurs. The camera zooms in slowly on the smoke, curling against the horizon like a whisper of trouble carried home. The cheerful sounds fade away, replaced by the faint rush of wind. Lisa steps closer to Jack, her voice trembling. "You think it's them?" Jack doesn't answer. He just stares at the smoke, his eyes narrowing. "I think Heartland's about to find out." The screen fades to warm gold as the camera pans over the hayfield, peas balanced on the edge of chaos. While some fight the wild to survive, others keep the heart of home alive, because every story needs someone waiting when the lost return. The music swells soft, piano mixed with the hum of summer wind as the scene dissolves into light. The forest is no longer quiet, it's alive with echoes. The wind carries voices, footsteps, and the fragile hope of survival. Dawn creeps through the trees, turning the fog into pale gold. Amy's breath clouds the air as she pushes forward, her eyes sharp, her body trembling from exhaustion. Behind her, Ashley stumbles, clutching the torn jacket tighter. They've been searching all night. Every sound feels like a heartbeat they can almost touch. Then there it is, a faint glow between the trees. Not sunlight, firelight. Amy freezes. Her eyes widen. "There," she whispers. She breaks into a run, the mud pulling at her boots. Ashley follows, branches snapping around them. The glow grows brighter. Then, through the smoke and ash, they see him. Caleb, sitting near a dying fire, face pale but alive. Nathan lies beside him, eyes half open, whispering something only the trees can hear. Amy drops to her knees beside them, her breath catching between relief and disbelief. "You're alive," she says, her voice breaking. Caleb looks up, a weak smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. "You took your time." Tears fall before she can stop them. Ashley kneels beside Nathan, wrapping her arms around him. For a moment, all the noise of the forest fades, the birds, the wind, even the fear. There's only the sound of their hearts, beating in rhythm again, but the wilderness doesn't let go so easily. A storm brews in the distance, thunder rolling over the mountains. They have to move fast. Amy and Ashley help the men to their feet, the group leaning on each other as they begin the long journey back toward the open fields. Every step feels heavier, but the promise of home keeps them going. Cut to Heartland. Jack stands in the hayfield, staring at the smoke still curling on the horizon. Lisa joins him, her voice steady but hopeful. "They'll find their way," she says. Jack nods slowly. "They always do." Then in the distance, through the shimmer of heat and haze movement, 4 figures appear at the edge of the field, barely visible. Jack's breath catches. The camera tightens on his face, a mix of disbelief and joy. He drops the rope in his hands and starts walking, then running. Music swells slow at first, then bursting with emotion as the group comes into view. Amy, Ashley, Caleb, Nathan, mud-streaked, battered, but alive. The reunion is wordless. Jack pulls Amy into his arms. Caleb collapses beside the wagon, his laughter shaking through tears. Nathan looks at Ashley like he's seeing daylight for the first time. Lisa stands back, watching, her hand over her heart. The hay sways around them, the sky wide and endless. The camera drifts upward, showing the whole of Heartland bathed in gold once more. Then the voiceover begins soft, steady, filled with warmth and wisdom. "Sometimes, life breaks us apart just to remind us where we belong. The wild tests us, strips us bare, and shows us what truly matters. Family, faith, and the fire that never goes out. Even in the darkest night, as the voice fades, the music softens into a slow piano melody. The camera lingers on the ranch, the horses grazing, the smoke from the fire rising in gentle curls, no longer a warning, but a signal of home. The screen darkens slowly, and the words appear in white. Heartland Season 19. Episode 4, Lost in the Wild. Next time, the storm may pass, but not without a cost. The last sound, wind through the hay, and a single heartbeat, fade to black.